Hey everyone, Coach K here. Welcome back. You've been seeing some more of me now, and I just want to say today's episode is going to talk a lot about what's going on in terms of fake news and how to actually find out, how to kind of like let your spidey senses tell you I should look more into something. And I'm really going to show you some stuff today that it's kind of really easy to tell, even through just looking in the news, sometimes what is fake news, what is too good to be true, what is FUD, what is FOMO type news that's going to make people really bullish. So just think about all that. Now guys, if you're watching right now and you're on YouTube, click that subscribe button, like button, little bell. If you're watching on Facebook, click the share and like button as well, of course, or you can do a little heart, or a smiley face. But what's up, Joey? How you doing, brother? Mayor, how you doing as well? Yeah, so today I want to talk about a lot about how this whole Russia thing has come up and been circulated all around the internet, making people believe that this Russia buying $10 billion of cryptocurrency or Bitcoin is true. And I'm here to tell you that even CCN has exposed this, but I want to show you how how people manipulate the markets, how they manipulate what you think through the news. And it's really interesting to look at that. And so let's just get started and look at, right here. So Russia's planning a $10 billion Bitcoin investment. So about 4 days ago, I showed you guys that I thought, this is some bullshit. And the reason why I've said this is because if Russia was gonna buy $10 billion of Bitcoin, do you really believe that they would actually tell you? They would tell the whole world, we're gonna buy Bitcoin. That doesn't make any sense. Alan, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? See you there on YouTube. And so, the spidey senses should already be tingling like, why the hell would they tell the whole world we're gonna buy Bitcoin? It just, $10 billion of Bitcoin would increase the price insanely. So what do you think this type of news is? It's FOMO news. It's let's get you guys scared that you're gonna miss out and Russia's gonna pump the price back to 10K and blah, blah, blah. And you get all this excitement and people then start FOMOing in. And people now probably just bought Bitcoin hearing this news thinking that this is great stuff and a great way to get in. And this is the problem. Finally was at my phone when you go live. Hey, that's great, Alan. It's good stuff. Andy, how you doing, man? Good to see you as well. And so when I look at this, I'm just going to go through the news so you can see. So it's rumored investment. So first they say Russia's planning it. Then in the news they say it's a rumored investment that they're going to do this, okay? And on Cointelegraph, this guy cites Grinko, this person I'm going to show you, saying the Russian government's definitely going to do this. We're going to, see them, get rid of the US dollars and then buy Bitcoin. Right? And then this economist believes blah, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. And then he's Vladimir Putin's a big blockchain advocate, but that does not mean that he is a Bitcoin advocate as well. Do we care what pumps up the tires of bike if we get to ride it? Okay, good point, Penny. But the point is that, the average investor that we want to get for adoption will not come in the space after they come in thinking this is good news and then get wrecked and lose a bunch of their money because they buy Bitcoin at almost 4K and now it's 3,500 and they're like, what the hell? And they're like, this is some scam, and they get out, right? So to get adoption, we need, people that are actually more informed. I know people are going to lose. There's always got to be winners and losers, but people need some type of advice of how to actually wade through the BS. And so, yeah. Isaac, how's it going? I'm doing very well, my friend. So, cryptocurrency regulations are high on their agenda, blah, 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 right? Next article, boom, fake news. Why Russia is probably not planning a $10 billion Bitcoin buy, okay? So in this article, they go through, Russia to use Bitcoin as a hedge against the US dollar, and then they show some 5 global asset values, right? And this Vladimir Ginko guy is who we're going to look at. So Chris, I believe sitting here in Moscow, Russia is the real factor of Bitcoin adoption, blah, 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 blah. So back in mid-December, the Trump administration added several Russians to the list of sanctioned entities, right? And so because of that, they lost potential profits. So because of this, this source keeps going back to when he started his own line. Okay, so and Bitcoin and the Bitcoinist.com published a story about very similar things. So he cites himself. So he starts off with this rant and starts doing all these different messages about how Russia's buying $10 billion of Bitcoin, right? So you see that. So then as you see all of these things happening, he starts going on and posting these tweets to different entities like Cointelegraph and all these other things, and starts tweeting into different, tweeting about Russia in different ways to try and increase his credibility. And then the whole big lie is really crazy, and I'm going to show you that in a second. But this big lie is basically how people use fake news, or how they use a rumor, spread it all out to the news agencies, and when you go to actually confirm and try to check if something that you've read in one article is real, and you go to another website that says the same thing and another website that says the same thing, you start feeling like it's credible, right? But well, let me tell you something. News agencies can be bought. You can buy articles and get them printed in different newspapers and different news sources. So the big lie is here. This same guy says it, believes it, and repeats it in all these different areas. So you first see this story in the Bitcoinist, the Telegraph, the Daily Hodl, Mickey.com.au, the BitcoinMag.com, Zero Hedge. So all of a sudden, it has so much credibility that you think this news about Russia is real. When in actuality, this guy has basically built up a false lie and printed it so many different places all over the place that people think it's real, right? And then because of that, you see these articles posted all over the place, and people start buying Bitcoin, not having a clue that they're actually getting manipulated. And this is legal manipulation, because there's nothing illegal about saying something good or bad about something. And this is also why Jamie Dimon can go and say Bitcoin's a scam. It dropped $24 billion in value, and then buy it from their Asian office with $100 million worth of Bitcoin that same weekend when it dropped. These are the things that happen. So yeah, basically you start seeing, and they're saying that like all these different people love the idea. This guy from eToro, an advisor, loves this idea of Bitcoin replacing it. People believe it, and there's credibility, and people believe all these things that they read. And this is the problem with fake news. Okay, now jumping on to another thing, XRP overtook Ethereum again, even with Constantinople upgrade coming. So that was really interesting for me, because I had a really interesting talk with someone yesterday in a group that I'm in for crypto. A bunch of advisors, a bunch of traders, even influencers are in that group. And what was really interesting about that talk was I was saying that, for hard forks, even if they give you free coins or not, generally they pump. And I said, when Vitalik said on the 18th of December that this hard fork was going to happen in January, I said that is a good time to buy it, because it's a month, probably at least a month before the hard fork. It's like December 18th. If you go to a chart and actually look on December 18th until, actually, you know what? Let's do that. Let's actually go look at a chart on December 18th for Bitcoin and look, or for Ethereum, sorry, and look at what actually happened. So let me just jump on over here and do ETH/USDT and show you guys what I'm talking about when I say how to play a hard fork. Really easy to see that when you actually have real data to look at. So let me pull that chart up for you and show you what happened from December 18th up until about a week and a half before the hard fork, which is usually what you're supposed to do. So December 16th, December 17th, December 18th. So Vitalik around December 17th, December 18th called that the hard fork was going to happen. Now, if we just go look right here, within about, what was it, 7 days, it jumped up 62, 63%, right? So we see that it jumped a huge amount right before. Now, it started to drop on January 10th, which is about not even, like 4 to 6 to 7 days, because they didn't give an exact date. They said 14th to 18th, sometime in between then. they're gonna have the hard fork. And I usually dump for hard fork a week, between 7 to 10 days before. So I would have dumped somewhere in this range over here when it was around 150. That's a great buy when you bought it around 82, 83, maybe even you bought it at 90. It's still a great buy, and that's how you play hard forks. So I had this argument with someone that this already was the hard fork run up, and now it's dumping, and it might pump before the hard fork and either pump after the hard fork or dump. This is something you have to be worried about, because if ETH hard fork doesn't go as planned and has any issues, it's going to dump. If it goes really well, it could still dump. Usually they do. So just be wary of that. So just want to bring that to your attention and talk about that and say, you know, that's what's going on. Now, even XRP is dumped. I think it was like 12 or 13%, but now it's had a little bit of a pump still. So they're always really neck and neck lately. And obviously one is going to eventually take the lion's share of the other. But that's just something to keep in mind about the hard fork. Is it's obviously going to be something really good for their network, but if it doesn't work, it's going to be very bad for them. Moving on, let's talk about back buys and acquisition into a company, and basically, why would they buy into this group? So I think because they're an independent futures commission merchant, it gives them the ability, because the government's still shut down, to potentially move ahead and start opening their exchange. Because right now, apparently what the issue is with Bakkt is they can't get their licensing and everything in order because the government's shut down. And this is why there's apparently been another delay. I don't know if that's true. I personally don't really believe that's the reason why. But it's possible with this acquisition that is potentially why. Because when they combine those offices, they offer more things for their clients, and potentially, I'm not sure if they have an AST license, but if they do have an AST license, it could potentially let them begin trading. So the United States Commission is yet to approve them, but this company isn't waiting around for approval, because they're going to do this kind of stuff behind the scenes. And if this does, I don't know if this company has an AST license, but if they do have an AST, that would actually enable Bakkt to actually start trading earlier, because they could go with the acquisition of that company on their backing of their license to start, and no ASTs for securities, but if they have the MSB licenses or AST licenses that they could start with, it potentially could get Bakkt started. And so this is something that they're trying to do to forward themselves because of it. I don't know what level of truth there is behind it, but that's what's up. So as I told you guys, watch for companies failing. Obviously, mining is failing in general. This company has already shut down. They had their own cryptocurrency, and WTT token is now basically worth $0, 0 cents, and it's bankrupt. So you're going to probably see this a lot more with a lot of the companies that didn't get out of ETH before it dropped. You're going to see this with companies for many other reasons. And here's another thing I want to show you before I go as well about fake news. So here's a perfect picture of fake news on the same website, okay? January 13th at 7:25 Eastern Standard Time. Okay, government shutdown doesn't stop the Dow Jones from seeing the best start since 2006. The government shut down, but so does the Dow rally. So we're looking at that. We're going, wow, the stock market's up 7% during this shutdown, the best shutdown performance ever. History says the stock markets may ignore the shutdown and just keep rising and rising and doing awesome, right? Okay, since 1976, there have been 19 partial shutdowns ranging from 2 to 22 days. This one's 24, by the way. And so basically the first month it rebounded quickly. The stock market impact was marginal. So this is because the shutdown, the government shouldn't really affect it. The S&P closed down just a very small point, and the Dow holds its recovery, right? So you see all that. Look at the next day. January 14th, the next morning, not even 12 hours later, not even 12 hours later, or just over 12 hours later, the Dow Bitcoin takes steep losses as government shutdowns extends to 24 days. Think about that, okay? Now, the Dow poised to open steep losses on Monday. So you know they showed how it was up 7%? Look how much it went down. It's already down to like almost, it was down like quite a bit of pips right there. I can tell you that right now in one day. So it lost up almost a whole percent in a day and 200 points. So that whole 7% gain, a chunk of it's gone in a day. And you're probably going to see this trend continue. And I'll tell you why. And there's a really good breakdown of this. So everyone says like, yes, there's a great rally, blah, blah, blah. It ended its first seven trading session of 2019 with their best start since 2006. But increasingly, the stock market appears unable to shake off mounting concerns. But this is not even it. The U.S.-China trade war is also a piece of it. So now Trump is blaming the Democrats for this the shutdown. The trade deficit is growing. It's $323 billion now, 17% bigger than since 2006. And basically, the U.S. and China are, you know, at this mid-level trade talk. They're the two biggest economies, but really China is way bigger. And we're gonna see Wall Street. The season's opening, it's still down a lot, even though it rallied from the government shutdown. It's still down a ton, and I truly believe, and so do many other economists, that we're going to see the stock market continue on a downtrend and into a bear market for a couple years, if not a nice hefty drop quickly. I think something's going to happen in the stock market, and I've been saying this for months, since August, and I believe that we're going to see it happen. So Bitcoin drops below the get the F out level. You know, it had its 3 drops, 1, 2, and 3. It always does this, guys. So if you don't know that about Bitcoin, know that about Bitcoin. When it has a steep drop once, it usually has a steep drop close to that. Usually the third drop, you know, it happens more towards this level right here, the third drop, but it wasn't really a third drop. The drops need to be big, shorter, and shortest, and then usually it recovers, and we've seen it recover up quite nicely in the last day to like around 3,700 range again, which is good, better than at 34. So Bitcoin, people still think the bottom's not there. I think the bottom is there. I think we're gonna have some support at 3,500 now, lots of support around that 3,500 range. And I don't know if the bottom is in, but I don't know if we're going to go as low as some people had predicted before, but anything can happen in crypto. But it's very possible that 2,500 was my bottom. It didn't get there, and it looks like we're not going to get there. We might have a double bottom at that 3,100 range where it hit there. That might happen, but I don't know if it's going to go much lower. But as you guys know, crypto, anything can happen. And when you have fake news everywhere about Vladimir Putin going to buy all this stuff, it should pump the price a little bit. And then people will get smart and figure out, oh, it's fake news, and maybe dump. So you have to be very careful, because the volatility will be high when you have really bad fake news that makes people FOMO in. So, you know, we're going to see that Bitcoin's been holding 3,500. If it holds, it's great. If it doesn't, it's going to go back down to 31 probably. People say that Bitcoin's broken crucial support, blah, blah, blah. I think that there's a lot of fake news out there, but Bitcoin could drop still more. But I think we probably got to that bottom, and if we haven't, we're just going to double bottom, and then we should start our rise again. But yeah, I've still maintained that we're going to stay in that $3,000 to $4,000 range. I said that months ago. I thought it would stay more close to 4,000, but it kind of has stayed more close to 4,000. It just kind of dropped below a few times now. So we'll have to just wait and see where it goes. But that's basically what's going on in crypto, guys. I hope you guys have a great day. Share this, subscribe, like if you like the show and you got some good information out of it. The news is coming, guys, and you got to be very careful when you watch it. So be very careful when you see the news to really question everything that's there. And if it sounds a little bit too good to be true, please start thinking maybe it is. And ask people. A lot of people in groups will tell you this is not really true. It doesn't sound really real. So keep that also in mind, and it will probably enlighten you to, you know, make better choices as well. So that's it for today, guys. I'll see you soon. Coach K signing out. Have yourselves a great day, and I'll see you on Thursday. Bye, everyone.